quick little video here for you guys. This is the NCL Season 8 doc. Please just ignore the red on there on the side under banned. Those are mods that we're going to be voting on to unban in some way or form, or they'll stay banned. I don't know, but they're red just that I remember to change them before publishing the doc for all of you. So, uh, new tiers this season, and this is how the tiers are going to work for possibly until the end of time. Um, but I just wanted to run through it with you guys. Mega Tier 1 now costs points, so you have to budget around that properly. Every tier is split into three parts: plus, regular, and minus. So Tier 1 plus, Tier 1, and Tier 1 minus. Um, the point breakdown is 200, 180, 160, 140, 130, 120, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, and 40, 30, 20, which is absolutely everything on there. So that's already a new change. You guys are going to get the same amount of points as normal, and you will still have to be you're still gonna have to draft a mega 1, 2, 2 threes, a 4, and a 5. But depending on how you budget this, you could possibly spend less points than you did before, and you would have more free points to work with. The only place that you're not going to be able to spend less is Tier 2, which increased in price for everything except the bottom half of Tier 2. Everything else has cheaper options as well as more expensive options, except for Tier 3 and Tier 5, which are both the highest tiers remain the same. So these are split tiers. This is normal-ish. Leagues do this, although they generally don't break it down as much as we have because there are 15 tiers plus 4 mega tiers. So there's 19 different tiers now to choose from, which is almost the same as just using points. So think of it more like a points draft, because in a points draft you might have like 18 to 20 different point values to choose Pokemon from, and this you've got 19 different values to choose Pokemon from. But what I'm more concerned about is what these tiers are going to turn into. So these are going to become usage-based tiers. I believe we should be, if not the first, um, one of the first leagues to ever move to solely usage-based tiers. There are plans on what to do with new Pokemon in the future and things like that, but for now, nothing will change this season for you guys. So everything here is not based on usage stats, it's based on opinion about where these Pokemon belong. You can argue it all you want. I'm not going to change any of these at this point besides unbans. Um, for usage tiers, there's a couple ways for Pokemon to move. So in the higher tiers, think tier 1 and 2, it's going to take 2 seasons in a row to be drafted in the tier that it's in to move up a slot. If it's moving from tier 2 plus into tier 1 minus, it takes a vote. Same thing with tier 3 plus into tier 2 minus, tier 4 plus into tier 3 minus, things of that nature. It will take a vote to move up. This would also apply to megas. It would take a vote to move them up. From the coaches. The lower tiers with tier 5, 4, and 3, it only takes 1 season of usage to move it up a tier. So, for example, if you draft Blastoise, or let's say someone drafted Blastoise, then it would then be voted on next season, guaranteed, between tier 3 plus and tier 2 minus. So there will end up being probably a lot more votes, especially votes that will get shot down. To stop Pokemon from not just being trapped in a tier forever, if a vote doesn't pass for a couple seasons in a row, then it will automatically move up anyways, because we don't want things stagnating and we want the values to change based on your preferences and how you draft. It doesn't really matter to me how broken you think a draft might be based on that. It's just going to be the most effective way to have purely usage-based tiers. Yeah, so it's going to take a couple seasons for any real movement changes to actually stick and figure things out. Obviously, you can't go higher than tier 1 plus, so things will eventually fluctuate between tier 1 plus and tier 1. Things moving down based on losing stuff. People get bored of using a certain mon, things of that nature. Things will move down as necessary and move up as necessary. I think that is it. It's going to take 2 times being picked in a plus tier to move up. So I know I mentioned in the higher tiers it's going to take 2 seasons in a row to move up, but that is for tier one moving into tier plus or tier two moving into tier two plus. Two seasons of that, but it's going to take 2 seasons in a plus tier to move up to a minus tier. So it would take 2 seasons of Blacephalon being picked in tier two plus in a row to move into tier one minus. I've yet to decide. Well, myself and the mods have yet to decide if this is going to include season 7 data on top of season 8 data to determine what season 9 tiers will look like, but we'll figure that out in a while because season 9 won't be until May at the absolute earliest. We're looking at like May or June, right? So figure it out then. I think that is everything that needs to happen here. I'm not going to build a sample team. We've done some testing with a group of people, and the point values look balanced enough that you're not going to be able to get an absolutely nutty draft. Now that'll change over time as the usage tiers go into effect, um, but that's where things stand now. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the new tiers, especially just the split tiers aspect, because that's essentially all the format change is this season is just moving to a split tier base. But if you're sticking around for multiple seasons down the road, then you're gonna know that that the tiers are moving based on usage. So that wraps things up here. That's pretty much all the information I have. If you have any other questions, please ping me or Jed, presumably, or both of us, with any questions about what the tiers are going to look like. And yeah, that's about it.